You've built the company, you've built the business, but are you losing your family? Hey, you probably heard the cautionary tales about the leader who climbs to the top only to find that their family is waiting at the bottom, or they gain the whole business success and they lost the very people they said they were doing it for. If your greatest ambition could actually be to strengthen those people instead of stealing from them, wouldn't that be something that would be worth a few minutes of your time? What if success actually doesn't require your absence? It requires the opposite. And let me just share, this is very personal to me. This is why I'm making this video. I almost lost my marriage and my family because I didn't know what I'm about to teach you. I was kind of winning, but I was losing at home. And nobody tells you how painful that is and how easy it is to have happen without you even thinking about it. And so I learned these 10 rules, and I can't say they were all 10 at the same time, but little by little, I began to be like, hey, I'm tired of this. I'm tired of this ambition where my presence and my focus is all going towards my work, and I'm losing my kids. These rules will change your life. They will change your leadership. And I'm going to encourage you to shut off everything else and just tune in and listen and literally rank yourself as you listen to each of these 10 and say, where are you on it? Over the past 25 years, I've gotten the opportunity to be close up to a lot of leaders, some of whom are at the top of their game, some are climbing the mountain. And I've seen that these 10 rules really help them win at work and be fully present at home. And so this isn't theory, it's really practice. So write them down if it helps you. Rule number 1, decide that presence is your practice. It's not a feeling. You may wait until you feel like you're present with your family or present in your work. And a lot of people think that stress clears when the inbox is empty and then, or the quarter ends, or you've reached your goal. And then suddenly you're going to be able to be there with your family, maybe on vacation. And it's kind of backwards. Presence isn't a feeling, it's a choice, it's a discipline. I didn't know that. I actually knew a CEO who built a multi-million-dollar company, and one evening his 10-year-old asked him a question. And then he realized 5 seconds later he couldn't even remember what his son had said because his mind was somewhere else. It was in the sale, it was in the boardroom. And that moment kind of broke him. Well, he made a decision that night that presence wasn't to be scheduled, but it was to be protected. Same thing for you, right? Presence isn't a skill you develop, it's something that you do through repetition. You turn your phone off, your laptop off, eye contact is right looking at them. So this week, choose one thing where you know I am going to be fully present. No distractions, no devices, no mental escape. Just show up. Rule number 2, define your values in advance. You see, ambition is kind of an enemy and it becomes all-consuming. Well, in 2023, the Harvard Business School study found that executives who prioritize family and set firm work boundaries reported 34% higher job satisfaction. And effective leaders don't just chase growth, they pursue it as a vehicle. Success is great, but it could be that you're going for opportunity or legacy. The key is knowing what are the values that you've got. And if you don't do that, success is kind of be a little bit of a mush. Do you work to clarify what matters most to you? If you want a values exercise, just comment values below. I'll send it to you. It's one of the best things I've ever actually invented. Rule number 3, determine your strengths and lead from them. How does this apply to being fully present at home? Well, when you're operating in things that aren't you, you're exhausted because you're leading too much in ways that don't fit you. And you're exhausted because you're leading from the wrong place. There's a Gallup poll that shows that consistently people who use their strength are more engaged, they're more energized, and your energy actually follows your alignment. I worked with a leader who thought that he needed to be involved in everything. Actually, I've worked with a lot of leaders who've been that way. They're in operations, they're in details, they're in follow-ups, but true strengths are where your vision come to life and you develop other people. And then once you begin delegating those operational pieces, things start to shift. You make sharper decisions, there's less frustration, you have more energy at home because you're not burning it in what I call dirty energy. The leaders who accomplish the most are the ones who say yes to some things and no to other things. They're the ones who know what actually deserves their limited time and energy. So follow your strengths. Number 4, delegate decisively to protect your time and your soul, which relates to number 3. Delegation isn't weakness. Of course you can do it, but it's multiplication. McKinsey research shows that leaders who delegate effectively free up an average of 15 hours a week. That is productivity. That's your life back. So list 5 things that you're doing right now that someone else could do, maybe even half as good as you. Delegate this week. Watch what happens to your time. Watch what happens to your soul. Rule number 5, declare that your identity is not your job title. This is a hard one for a lot of us. But if it means you gain your job and you lose yourself because that becomes you, then that fear drives every decision. Research on executive transition showed that leaders who maintain identities outside of work recover faster from setbacks. They maintain better health. You are not your title. You're a person. You're a person who is created intentionally. You are not your success, your number, how other people see you, your likes, shares, all the rest. I know you know that, but I want to just look right at you and say you are not those things. And when you separate those two, you lead from groundedness instead of from fear. Rule number 6 to re-engage, detach daily. Energy management is more important than time management. You cannot create more time. You can create more energy. Your sleep matters. Your movement matters. Your silence matters. What if you take time each day to just pause for a minute and simply breathe? Breathe in through your diaphragm, breathe out. And your energy is protected. Your presence is protected. Your stress levels lower. Number 7, rule 7, decide what enough means in advance. And that's not lowering your ambition, it's not killing your dreams, it's directing it. And if you don't define it, there's always going to be one more opportunity, sale, deal, one more promotion, one more milestone, and you'll get to the end of your life and you'll say, what was I doing? Clarity around enough creates peace of mind. And also just realizing that things are going to take time. And that's okay because your kids, they are going to not be there. I'm an empty nester. I know my kids are in Hawaii. They're in Europe right now. One's in Denver, I think. But those things are important to realize that your peace creates focus. Rule number 8, discipline your devices. This one is so hard. I once worked with a president of a financial services firm who, whenever we were in meetings, he would answer every buzz, every device, every phone call. How do you think I felt? How do you think it did to my longevity with wanting to continue with the firm? He was successful, but he was fragmented. So discipline your devices before they disciple you. Create tech-free windows where you're going to be just at home, just with your kids. Create presence, and that's not going to take away from your capacity. Presence is rarely about capacity. It's about boundaries. It's about being able to mentally, emotionally, spiritually be there. Rule number 9, develop your spiritual life. You can't bring peace into your home falsely, inauthentically. They can tell if you're really with them. Most leaders are so externally successful and internally anxious, Ask me how I know, because I was that, and then I've spent the last 25 years close up working with leaders. Anxiety is contagious, but you know what's more contagious? Peace. Peace of mind. It's what we hunger for. We want leaders who are peaceful. Your spiritual foundation determines everything. It's not one of those like silos apart. It matters. So for me, that means my prayer time, my scripture time, my silence, and my surrender aren't an aside. They are key. So that might include meditation for you. It might include nature. It might include community, but peace speaks volume in an era of anxiety. I'll say that one again. Peace speaks volumes in an era of anxiety. When you surrender control daily, you stop carrying the illusion that everything depends on you. Leadership presence isn't loud, it's steady. And steady leaders are formed in quiet places. That's why my wife and I spend time at Whisper Ranch. Rule number 10, finally, demonstrate delight. Your family doesn't need the anxious, negative you. They want the one who delights in them, who's excited to say hi at the end of the day. You light up when you see your kids. You light up when you see your wife. For me, it's my grandson now. But you're glad to be there. You're glad to be where you are when you're working, but you decide, I am going to show up glad. And if you need to pull over your car on the way home, interrupt yourself and say, all right, how do I let go of what is on my mind so that I am fully present with you? Choose to bring your light, not just your intensity. Choose to bring your light. There's joy when you show up to a wife, to a husband, to a child. They know it. So pick one of these rules, maybe just one. Pick two, pick three. But practice that rule or a couple rules for the next 30 days. You don't need to master all of them, but watch what shifts. Success does not require your absence. It does require your presence, and that requires intention. More than anything else, it's a decision you're going to make long before you walk through the front door. Hey, if this resonates, subscribe. Let's stay connected. And if you're a leader who wants to build something meaningful without losing yourself or your soul in the process, that's exactly the leader I love to help. Let's build a vision that strengthens the world and strengthens your home, not competes with it. I look forward to watching you thrive and not burn out.